Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TokeMoments. My name is still Toke Makingwa, like it was going to change from last week. Now, I saw this post recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, with the Hillsong New York pastor. Now, Hillsong's New York is one of those churches that I love to attend every time I'm in New York. So when I saw this particular post, I was particularly drawn to it, and it left me with a lot of emotions that I thought the only way I can actually articulate these emotions is by doing this video. Now, watching the pastor come out and own it was very humbling for me, and it goes further to prove what we've all been saying from time immemorial. You see, men of God are men first. Now, this is not a video to criticize religious houses, because I'm not particularly religious, but I have a relationship with my maker, which is what I always try to encourage people to do. Like, beyond what you hear in your church, or what you hear in your mosque, or what you hear in your religious center, you have to try to develop a personal friendship with your maker. Now, one of the things that this made me feel was I was humbled, I was inspired, and this is me not sitting here trying to defend that he was right for his actions, because he already condemned himself. So I'm not going to judge the actions of this pastor. But I wish and I hope and I pray that other religious leaders can see this post right here and get inspired to actually get real. I'm sick and tired of this assistant Jesus attitude. Like, Jesus didn't ask you to be his assistant. Jesus wasn't looking, last time I checked, for an assistant here on earth. If only men of God actually let us see these sides of them. If they don't parade themselves like they're so perfect, and let us really actually see the side of things that they're struggling with, perhaps there'll be many more people who would be a bit more open and appreciative of their journey. I feel like this whole make perfect, and it could also be our fault, don't get me wrong. Maybe we, the congregation, have put too much pressure on the imams and the pastors, and they feel like they need to be perfect, because that whole perfection that you see is almost like people actually almost look to the pastors and the imams than they actually look to God, because they are supposed to be the authority. Now, I want to go to a church where a pastor lets me know he struggles. I want to sit in a congregation where I actually hear a pastor let me know he struggles with masturbation, he struggles with anger, he struggles with telling the truth sometimes. Maybe I would actually sit back and realize this is the church for me. Because you know what? Church, mosque, religious center is all hospital. We are all sick, looking for where to get killed. What I find rather annoying and insulting, and I must say, I'm not trying to throw shade, but where I'm from, we don't really find many religious leaders doing what this pastor did, like coming out and saying, I cheated on my wife, I was a fucking dickhead, and I'm going to step down and seek forgiveness. Instead, what they do tell you on the congregation is either they don't discuss it, or they discuss it and skirt around it. Maybe they tell you guys that they are waiting to give you guys a robust response, which some of you guys never hear. And what I find rather disturbing is how these people blindly follow these guys. It's like, there's nothing anybody can tell me these 36 years I've spent on earth about God that I cannot find out. And let me just tell you right now, if you're one of those people that are always finding people to pray for you, alpha, imam, pastor, what else do they call them? There's no difference between you and a ritualist. Because I tell people, why can't you find God on your own? Maybe if you really realize that religion is one of the biggest problems we have in this world, it would make you have a sense of ownership of your own salvation. Why must you wait for somebody to pray for you? I've never understood it. I was once that girl, I'm not gonna lie. Do you understand? I was once that girl who, whenever they call one fellowship here, hey, TM is there. One church service, hey, TM is there. We also, where we are finding, Jesus must hear. Where are you? Father, we're coming to find you. I've been there, done that. And I got to a place in my life where I realized that, if I actually took out the time to actually try to find God on my own, maybe I'll realize that my salvation is not for sale. and it's not something I can buy. No one is perfect. I really feel like we need to begin to have these honest conversations. Now, that's the angle I'm coming from. I'm not the judge of this pastor and what he's going through in his personal life, because I feel like for him to even take that bold step, I hope and I pray that God is with him and his family in this time. What I would like to say, and this is a very important point, is if you are in a place of servitude, if you are in a place of service as a religious leader, let's get real with ourselves. I want to go to services and churches where I hear the things that my pastor struggles with. I've always been of the personal belief, and this is a personal belief, so this is not a knock on like Christianity or anything, or Islam. Christianity is the only thing I know about, so I'll talk about it. I've always been of a personal belief that I don't really think that, you know, churches or mosques should make good counselors for marriages, because I feel like you never meet a pastor who tells you that he doesn't like his wife, or a pastor who tells you that him and his wife are having problems, or an imam who tells you that him and his wife are having problems, or you never really get them to own up to the fact that they might not have been talking to their wives for 3 weeks, and then we, like sheep to the slaughter, we sit in front of them and we talk about all our life's problems. Pastor, my wife is doing this, my husband is doing this. How do you know that the person you're talking to is not going through marital problem? And who is also their own counselor when they go through all these things? I honestly feel like the moment we all begin to realize that we are all saved by grace and this thing is a marathon, it is really a journey. Like, honestly, nobody is that perfect. Trust me. And I really want religious leaders to begin to own it and just let people see that side of them. Maybe if we saw that side of them, people wouldn't judge them so much, you know, because people sit back and judge pastors and judge imams and judge all these religious leaders, and I feel like they do that because they feel like these guys act like they're so perfect. I want a pastor that tells me I have anger issues and I'm praying to God to help me with these anger issues. I want a pastor that tells me when I see women, I do feel lost. It's you are flesh. Do you understand? Maybe perhaps we'll all begin to change our prayer points to be, okay, at least pastor has told you he's a man before he's a man of God. You know, don't call me at a certain time because I want to focus, or I don't want to see you when I'm in a certain country because I'm a man like you. You know, but then when they all carry themselves in such a perfect way, when we hear that they struggle or they fall, then they also take so many people down with them, because you have so many people who will say, I will never go to this church anymore because I found out that the pastor was stealing money in church. I will never go to this mosque anymore because I found out that my mom had built 5 houses and I don't have one. I will never go to this place anymore because I found out that my religious leader is living a different life from what they're preaching. Maybe if you guys actually just took off the mask and let us actually see that you are also as human, and this thing called salvation is really something that we are all working towards daily, just maybe you would have more dedicated followers who would have a real sense of fellowship, because they feel like I could relate with this pastor and his posts, because I found out that, you know what, it's not easy being married for 19 years. It's not easy, you know, being with one. It's not easy being in this situation called marriage. A lot of people don't come out and share how hard it is. It's a commitment that you constantly have to make daily. And sometimes you struggle, both men and women. Sometimes you're tired, both men and women. Why can't we be honest? Why are we such hypocrites? I think that's the purpose of this vlog today, because when I watched this thing, it was important for me to say this. Like, the reason why people are coming hard on religious leaders, both in the church or in the mosque, is because people are tired of being brainwashed. People are tired of feeling as if it's only their shit that stinks. People are tired of feeling as if they're struggling, but yet they're these perfect beings who hear directly from God. And it's not true. Maybe if we all begin to share stories, like a safe space where your pastor can, you know, share some of their struggles. I would really like to know some of the struggles that these pastors have, you know, or imams. Like, I would join a class to know, because that way maybe we would all feel like we're human. So when next I hear you erred or you fail, I don't come across as judgmental. I come across as empathetic. Like, wow, okay, then he has the same temptations that I do. And how are you getting by your temptations? Can you share? Like, how do you deal with this sense of this? Can you share? That's the real zone I'm in right now. I don't have time for all these watermarked, we band the wound, we keep lying to ourselves, we get there and act as if, oh, you are Jesus' assistant. Christ don't need no assistant. Last I checked, he wasn't searching for an assistant. Who appointed you his assistant? And these people can so judge. Hey, you hear they'll tell you certain things, and you sit there and think you that are judging somebody. If the spotlights happen to shine in your personal life, are you sure that all the things we will see we'll all be happy with? Honestly, I feel like people need to talk more about things like this, and maybe pastors need to be less hard on themselves, because sometimes you guys create this illusion. We're not really that crazy. We don't really send. You know, there's this whole thing about pastors thinking they need to be perfect. Some pastors drink, but they can't come out to tell you they drink. You know, some pastors cannot come and tell you a divorce might be what you need because this is not working out. But guess what? In their homes, they've not spoken to their wives for 3 weeks. So some of them are even just talking on the congregation pulpit on Sunday. When they go home, they go. But you now carry all your life problem. Do you see there's something wrong with you? Instead of you to find Jesus on your own, find Allah on your own, find whatever you call God on your own. Enter your room, pray, he will hear you, cry, he will come to you. You are sitting there waiting for somebody that has fast access. I don't understand. What does fast access mean? Anyway, I just thought to share that with you. Like, this is not judgment to what the pastor of Hillsongs is going through. It is a crazy situation, but it is a real situation. Like, there's a place for religion, and I'm not knocking that. I appreciate great pastors and great teachers. I watch great sermons. I'm a member of a church. I'm not a Muslim, so I can't really say much about that religion, or a Buddhist, because I can't really say much about that. But I really think that the essence for this video is to encourage you guys to find your source, find your creator, find, you know, why you're here. Basically, just find and develop a personal relationship, because it might help you not lose your mind when you're hearing these kind of things going on in the world. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter. I am a Tokestar with a double R. Until I come your way next week, we'll talk about something else. Goodbye.